Okay, hi everyone, guys. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, am I audible to all?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's continue, guys, from where we left off. Yeah, we were talking about reference data management. Yeah, we were talking about static data and dynamic data in case of reference data management, right? So, can anybody give me examples of some static data?
Name,
Name, yes.
Address, account number.
From IB perspective,
Yes, sir.
yeah. From investment banking perspective, it could be
Financial product specifications or expiry date.
customer ID.
right. So your account number, your sorry, the custodian account number, the currency codes, uh, the lot size. These would come under static data. Yeah. Whereas the pricing data, exchange rate data, premium data, all this would be dynamic data. Yeah. Okay. So very simply, guys, the data which does not change frequently on a regular basis, that is categorized as static data. Please don't think it can never change, but it won't change frequently. Okay. Whereas the data that changes very frequently is known as a dynamic data. All right. Okay. So we are going to talk about little bit about these two, guys. So let's talk about security identifiers. Important thing to know. I mean, will not mug up, but yeah, you should be aware of that there are security identifiers. Okay. See, when you look at the securities worldwide, there are thousands and thousands of securities, right? So there has to be a way to identify the different securities. That's why we need security identifiers. Okay. So these are like the unique identifiers or unique codes to represent a particular security. Okay. So these are unique identifiers used to represent a particular security. Okay. Now let's talk about some of them. Okay. First is ISIN. First is International Securities and Identification Number. Have you heard about this, guys?
Yes, sir. In the
Okay.
NSA, it is a symbol, I think.
Yeah, we have these all ISN codes for Indian securities as well. You can check them out on NSC or BSC website. Okay, so these are global identifiers. What do we mean by global identifiers? See, security identifiers can be local or global. Okay. Global identifiers are used for cross-border transaction. Okay. So these will be used to identify securities worldwide. For example, ISIN code will be used worldwide to identify securities. All right. So it's a global identifier. It will be, it is used in US, it is used in Europe, it is used in Africa, it is used in Asia. Everywhere ISIN is used. So it is a global identifier. Okay. It facilitates facilitates cross-border trading. Okay. Guys, it will be a 12-digit alphanumeric code. For example, like this. This is the ISIN code, ISIN number for a security. The first two digits are the ISO country code. Okay. So out of these 12 characters, first two will be representing the country. So we are talking about a US security. Okay. Next 9 characters are local identifiers. What it means? These 9 characters. So if I start from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, these 9 characters are locally created by the US agency. Okay, so there'll be a numbering agency. We call it National Numbering Agency. In India, we'll have a national numbering agency. US will have their national numbering agency. Europe, Germany will have their national. So every country will have their national numbering agency. Okay, and that NNA would be creating this code for the securities of their region. Okay, so the National Numbering Agency of US would have created this number, nine character number for this particular security. Okay, is it clear, guys? Yes or no?
Yes.
What about others? Only one yes?
Yes, sir.
All right.
So,
Okay. So, which is the National Numbering Agency in India, you know? SEBI plays the role of NNA in India. Okay. SEBI plays the role of NNA, National Numbering Agency. So SEBI would be creating this 9-digit code for all the Indian securities. Are we clear? Similarly, in US, we have QSIP Global Services. QSIP Global Services, which acts as the NNA for US securities. So the NNA of that region would be creating this 9-digit code. Okay. And the last digit would be check digit. Okay. This is check digit. So what happens is this digit is algorithmically created based on previous 11 characters. Okay. Just to make sure that there are no fake ISIN numbers floating around. Okay. So based on previous 11 characters, machine creates a random check digit. just to make sure that there are no fake ISIN numbers floating around. You cannot change the ISIN number. If you change the ISIN number, this check digit will also change, and that the machine will decide. Okay, so no human can intervene with this number. This is fixed. Okay. All right. So I hope we are clear with how a ISIN number is structured. Now, can you tell me what is the ISIN number of Tesla? Quickly find out and tell me what is the ISIN number of Tesla.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, it is US 88 160 R1014.
Very good. So US is domiciled where? US, right? That's why it is starting from US. Okay, tell me somebody now, somebody else tell me what is the ISIN number of Infosys?
Sir, INE 190 BO 1019. BO 10 B 01019.
Good. Can somebody else tell me what is the ISIN number of Dabur?
Sir, INE 016A 01026. 6A 01026.
Good. Okay. So guys, these are the identifiers used to identify a particular security. So no other security in the world will have this ISIN number apart from Tesla. Okay. So whether you float this ISIN number in Europe, Africa, US, India, anywhere, everybody would get to know that we are talking about Tesla. Like your Aadhaar card number, guys.
Sir, security in sense of shares.
In sense of shares, fixed income security, anything.
Like all the securities of this company will be issued with this ISIN number.
No, no, no. For every security, it will be different.
Okay.
For every security, it will be different. Okay. If Tesla has 5 shares, it will be different for all 5 shares. For example, guys,
Sir,
do you know Tata Motors has 2 different listings? One is Tata Motors and one is Tata Motors differential voting rights. Do you know this? It has 2 types of shares floating around. Okay. Now let's say Infosys calls up Goldman Sachs, Mumbai, that please buy 10,000 shares of Tata Motors. Do you know what will GS Mumbai say? What do you think? What will the investment bank say?
Which one of the two you want to buy?
Yeah, it will ask the client, please provide the ISIN number of the security you want to buy. Okay. Now, can you tell me what is the ISIN number of Tata Motors, please? And also, what is the ISIN number of Tata Motors DVR? Tell me whether it is same or different.
So ISIN number of Tata Motor is INE 155 A 01022.
What about DVR?
So I have 9155 A 01020.
Okay, so it is different. So it would make sure that there is no confusion between the client and the broker, right? They know what they are talking about. Now, guys,
Sir,
yeah.
sir, who is the security identification number issuer in US, sir?
Sorry, what is your question?
Who issued the security identification number in US?
Okay. Okay, Rajwal, I think that answers your question, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, guys, don't get confused. You don't need to mug up the ISIN numbers. Okay. Nobody will ask you what is the ISIN number of Infosys or what is the ISIN number of Apple. Nobody will ask you that. What they might ask you is, what is the use of ISIN? Why do we need ISIN? What is ISIN? Okay. Are we clear? Some students start mugging up these numbers. Please don't do that. Okay. Are we clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Next is the QSIP number. If you can remember full forms, that would be good. It is a local identifier used in US and Canada. Okay, it is issued by QSIP Global Services. So what you were seeing 9-digit code above, that is nothing but the QSIP number. Okay. First 6 characters represent the issuer. Okay. So let's say this is the QSIP number for Tesla. Okay. So first 6 characters represent issuer Tesla. Okay. Next 2 characters represent the issue. They talk about security. Okay. So first 6 characters issuer, the next 2 characters for security, and the last 1 character is a check digit. Guys, I mean, what should I say? I mean, very rarely even this would be asked. Okay. If you know this, that's great. I mean, even if you can tell this much about, let's say this much, if you can tell this much about QSIP, that's fine. Okay. So I'm saying from here to here. If you know this much about QSIP, that's fine. You need not know that first 6 characters are what, next 2 are what. I mean, if you know, that's great, but even if you have this much knowledge, I'll be more than happy. Okay, this is what the company is looking for. Similarly, in case of ISIN, if you know this much, then it's fine. Are we clear, guys? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Next, yeah, yes, okay.
Can
It
we
is
write,
the,
sir?
yeah. Let me just put the entire thing on the chat box so that you can take it from there. Okay. Let me know when you are done. Noted. Can we go ahead?
Yes, sir.
Third one, we have QSIP International Numbering System. This is nothing but extension of QSIP. Okay, so it's like an attempt by US to make QSIP popular among non-US nations as well. Okay, so CINS is a global identifier.
Sir,
Yeah,
sir, is Indian exchanges provide some securities of the US to trade in India of this identification number?
Rasual, your voice is not clear. Can you repeat?
Sir, is I'm audible?
Yeah, you're audible, but it's very low. Tell me.
Sir, in Indian exchanges, can we trade the international QC security and number?
No, you cannot like that trade. You need to have a different account. Okay, you cannot trade. I mean, you can trade mutual funds which are buying these securities. You can buy those mutual funds, but you cannot directly invest in Tesla, let's say. Okay, these are identifiers which are used in US and Canada. QSIP is not used in India. Okay,
Okay, sir.
if the transaction is happening within US, within Canada, QSIP can be used. But if the transaction is happening between India and US, ISIN needs to be used, not QSIP. It's a local identifier, local for that region, not for cross-border. Okay, CINS is a global identifier. They are trying to make it popular. US is trying to make CINS popular. It is originated in US and it is an extension of QSIP. Okay. Now it depends upon other countries. How do they want to take it up, whether they want to take it up or not. So that's a different case. But yes, US would attempt to make it QSIP popular, CINS popular. Okay. So guys, it is also a 9-character alphanumeric identifier. Okay. For example, let's say we have G0052B105. It's a CINS number where the first character represents the first one character represent the country. Next 5 characters represent the issuer. Next 2 characters represent the issue or security. Okay, last 1 character would represent the check digit. Just to make sure everything is correct. Okay. See guys, like this, there are few more. Now you can read those up. Okay. For example, we have CIDOL, which is a local identifier for UK and Ireland securities. Okay, it is a 7-character alphanumeric identifier. So guys, if you know this much, then it's fine. Okay. Also, if you can tell me the full form, that would be great. Apart from this much is fine. Similarly, we have Valoren. Okay, it is a local identifier for Switzerland. We're just talking about some of the popular ones. There can be many, right? And you don't need to know all these. I mean, if you can give examples of some security identifiers, that's fine. Okay. It is of 6 to 9 characters. Okay. It is issued by six telecurs. Okay. This is the NNA for Switzerland. Guys, this one, CIDOL, is issued by London Stock Exchange, LSE, which is the NNA for UK. Then we have Reuters code, Bloomberg code, RIC, we call it Reuters instrument code. Okay, so these are local to Reuters. I mean, Reuters uses these codes. So it has two parts. First part is the symbol, and the other part is the exchange code. Okay. For example, for Microsoft of US, the Reuters RIC code is MSFT.OQ. Okay, so MSFT is the symbol and OQ is the exchange code on which exchange we are talking about. Okay, so it is for NASDAQ. Similarly, we have Bloomberg Global ID. Okay, we call it BBGID, Bloomberg Global ID. So these are provided by Bloomberg company. Okay, Bloomberg is a financial software, data and media company, US based company. So Bloomberg is also external data provider, right? We talked about it. So they also provide you codes. And if you want to search for any security on the guys, give me 2 minutes, please. You can note it down. Okay, guys, is it noted?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Pretty straightforward, right? I mean, are you finding it difficult or easy? This is more something which you need to remember, right? I mean, not much to explain here. Yeah. So don't worry. I mean, whatever you can remember, that's fine. All right. Similarly, we have Bloomberg. Obviously, it is issued by Bloomberg, right? It is a 12-digit alphanumeric code. Guys, the good part about it, it has a very good coverage. Okay. So, I mean, let's say you have a security in India which is not that popular. Okay, some bond is issued by some company, let's say. Okay, now that bond is not that popular, or the size of the bond is not much. It's issued by a small company. So, but still you will be able to find a Bloomberg ID. That bond may not have the RIC code, that bond may not have the ISIN number, that can happen, but that bond will still have the Bloomberg ID. So the coverage is very good here. Okay, it covers almost all global financial instruments or securities. Now coming to sources of pricing data, guys, you know this, right? We have already discussed this. So I'll quickly brief you again. Okay. Now, whether you talk about common shares, preference shares, depository receipts, options, futures, anything you talk about, the pricing data needs to be updated regularly, right? So whether we talk about mutual funds or exchange traded fund, index funds, exchange currency rates. So all these have the pricing data. From where do we get the pricing data? From the external data providers. And from where do the external data providers get the data? By connecting their feeds from exchanges around the world. Okay, so in a very simple way, you can say that there are exchanges, or there are some other financial intermediaries which are providing the data to external data providers like FactSet, Bloomberg, etc. So Bloomberg is going to have the feeds connected with exchanges globally. NSE, BSE in India, NASDAQ in US. Similarly, whatever exchanges are there in the global markets, Bloomberg will try to collect the data from all of them. So if you want the global data, you can reach out to Bloomberg and they will require a fees for providing you data services. Okay. So exchange, these data providers have their feeds connected with the exchanges globally from which they collect the data, all the data. Okay. And then they can help you out. Okay. I mean, the investment bank, let's say, can subscribe to these data services provided by external data providers. All right. These are more for exchange traded products, but for pricing data of OTC products, Okay, if you talk about pricing data for OTC products, then see guys, you have OTC bulletin board. Okay, this might be new for you, so please note it down. We call it OTCBP. Okay, so market data for some OTC securities is quoted on OTC bulletin board. Okay, so those OTC securities that are more popular or those which meet the regulatory requirements. So for those OTC securities, the data would be provided, pricing data would be provided on the OTC bulletin board. So that's the first preference where you can search for this data. If it is not available on OTC bulletin board, you can reach out to FINRA. Okay. You can reach out to FINRA. So some OTC data you can get from pricing data you can get from FINRA. Let's say it is not available on OTC bulletin board. So some of those securities are managed report their trades. I mean, those brokers and dealers who are reporting in those, who are dealing in those OTC securities would be reporting their trades on, would be reporting their trades to FINRA. So FINRA will have the trade prices for such OTC contracts. Okay. So first is OTC bulletin board. If it is not available, you can check out on FINRA. If it is not available on FINRA also, you can check out the OTC markets group. Okay, here you will not get the pricing data as such, but here you will get the quotes data. Here you will get the quotes data. So what are the quotes? Market maker quotes available in the market. Exactly at what price the deal is happening, you will not get to know that, but what quotes are provided by the dealers, by the market makers, that you can get the information. So you can get an idea about the prices. All right, guys, please note it down. That's all I wanted to discuss in terms of RDM. So we'll move on to the next topic after this.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, in the OTC trade product, the external data provider goes to this type of OTC FINRA and OTC market group and collect the data, and they provide to the investment banks.
No, investment banks can take it from OTC bulletin board. They can connect their feeds to OTC bulletin board.
So in this, there is no external data provider.
It can be. I mean, Bloomberg can also collect from them. It is a source of traded products. I mean, either IB can directly deal with them or they can deal with Bloomberg and Bloomberg can deal with them. That's fine. Okay.
Okay, sir.
But the original source here was exchanges. but here the original source is these. Guys, let me know when it's noted down and you are clear with it. If you have any question, let me know.
So note it down. And now clear also.
All right. Thank you. I
Sir,
note it down also. Here as well.
sir, I have a doubt regarding the yesterday topic. One minute,
Yeah,
let
yeah.
me
Please
check.
ask.
Sir, in the uses of RDM system, you have noted down data analytics part. I have confused.
Yeah.
Can you explain that?
Analytics is basically analyzing the data you have. Okay. For example, let's say you use Amazon.
Yes, sir.
You use Amazon. Okay. So we use it for ordering mostly. I mean, if we want something, we order it on Amazon, right? So if you order something or if you find something, do you see the pop-ups coming related to that?
Yes, sir.
I mean, the ads coming related to the products I have searched for?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it happens, right? It happens if you do it on Flipkart, Myntra, or any other portal, you get ads related to those products, right? They don't highlight every product to you, they only highlight the products you generally search for, right? So customized ads, right? How it is happening? Data analytics. What the Amazon or Myntra or Flipkart is analyzing every customer's search, every customer's watch list, every customer's order details, right? So they are capturing all these details, and based on that, they are able to provide the customized services. Okay. Similarly, investment bank can analyze the behavior of their clients. What products they usually trade in. What are the positions they usually like to take. Based on that, they can also suggest them. Yeah. So to get more and more business from them.
Okay, sir.
Yeah,
Got
as well.
it. Got it.
All right. Is this noted down, guys? Others also please confirm so that we can go ahead.
Yes, so
Yes, sir.
All right. So we'll start a new topic now, guys. Trade life cycle. Very, very important topic. Very interesting also. Okay, so this was more of theory, yeah, but that is more understanding. Yeah. All right, so I'm closing this down. Just a minute, I'm searching for a file. All right. Uh, okay. So guys, our next topic is trade life cycle. Okay, very important topic. We are specifically talking about trade life cycle for exchange traded products. Okay. Now, can anybody tell me which are the exchange traded products?
Future options and cash
Futures
equities.
option.
Right? Equities, futures, and options. Right? That's what we know. So these are exchange. Some bonds are also exchange traded, but most of the bonds are OTC traded. Okay. Now, guys, how many of you have bought or sold any share ever?
Sir, I have bought but didn't sold that.
Yes.
You have bought?
Yes.
Okay. Anybody else? Any share, guys? Even
Sir, I
one
bought
share?
and sold.
Yes, sir.
You have? Okay, great. So guys, that's what we are going to talk about. What happens when you actually buy or sell any share, okay? I mean, I'll give you a brief about from the retail perspective, but more focus will be on investment bank perspective, okay? How is IB, how is an investment bank involved in the whole settlement cycle, okay? But first of all, let's talk about TLC, trade life cycle. Any idea what does this mean?
I think buying and selling securities.
Buying and selling securities is a very, very, very small part of the entire trade life cycle. See guys, it is the entire process. It is the entire process a trade goes through. Right from trade initiation to trade settlement. That entire process is known as a trade life cycle. We will talk about everything, guys. What is trade initiation? What is trade settlement? What are the steps between these steps? So the entire process, right from first end to the last end, that entire process is known as trade life cycle. Okay, buying or selling the shares is just placing the order or execution of the order, right? That is a small step in the trade life cycle. See, all the trades, whatever we buy or sell on the exchanges, they go through a settlement cycle. Have you heard about settlement cycle, guys? What is a settlement cycle? Not heard? Okay. Have you heard about T+2?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What does it mean?
Settlement happens 2 days after the trade is initiated.
Yes. So T+2 means it takes 2 days for the trade to settle. Yeah. What do we mean by settle?
That if we are purchasing shares of any company, so after 2 days, these shares will be, shown in our demat account.
Absolutely, very good. Okay, if you buy, you will get the shares in 2 days. If you are selling, you will get the money in 2 days, right? So the settlement will take 2 days. Yeah. In India, we follow the T+2 cycle. Uh, for some shares, it might become T+1 in 2022 based on the recent circular by SEBI, but that is a future. Right now, we have a T+2 cycle. Okay. So every market can have different cycle. Some markets may follow T+3 cycle, some may follow T+10 cycle. That depends upon the level of infrastructure and the technology available in that market. But most of the markets, including India, follow T+2 cycle. That means it takes 2 days, 2 working days for the settlement of the trade to take place.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, if we purchase the share on Friday, but Saturday, Sunday, our markets are closed, so what happened then?
Yeah, so it will happen on Tuesday. It will take 2 working days.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So guys, let's say what is the date today? 9th September, right? 9th September 2021. You buy 100 shares of Maruti. Okay. You go to the broker portal with which you have the account and you order to buy 100 shares of Maruti. On 10th September, what will happen? See, we call it T. We call it trade date. Okay, so on trade date, you place the order to buy 100 shares of Maruti. The order got executed. Next day will be T+1 and 11 September. What is it? It is a Saturday. So forget about it. 13 September 2021 would be considered as T+2. So that will be the settlement date. Okay. So on that date, you will get the shares of Maruti. Okay. So the stock and cash would be exchanged on T+2. Although our brokers block our funds, but the eventual exchange of cash and securities happens on T+2. So you can say it takes 2 days for you to get the shares. Or if you are selling, it will take 2 days for the money to come into your account. Right? This is what we call a settlement cycle. See guys, whenever any trade happens, there'll be various financial intermediaries which will be involved, and there needs to be a flow of information from one party to the other party. So this entire process takes time. Okay, and that's why it is taking 2 days to settle, just to check everything, just to make sure everything is correct. A lot of things need to happen. Yeah, I mean, for us it is a simple 100 buying 100 shares of Maruti, but somebody needs to check. There is a seller also, somebody needs to collect money from the seller, somebody needs to collect money from the buyer, somebody needs to collect shares from the seller, somebody needs to transfer those shares to the buyer, right? So all this happens in the background. That is what we mean as trade life cycle. Okay, a lot of steps in between need to happen. All that is part of trade life cycle, and that is why it takes 2 days to settle, because a lot of formalities need to be done on the back end. Are we clear with the term? What is a settlement cycle? What is a trade life cycle?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we are going to talk about that today. Okay, see now guys, as I said, see, this was more from a simple retail perspective, like you or me buying 100 shares, but institutional investors will not be buying 100 shares. Okay, they will be dealing in large quantities, and although we will have our broker as, let's say, Zerodha or HDFC Securities or Sher Khan or Paytm Money, but those big institutional investors will not have these brokers with them. Okay, so they will be opening the accounts with investment bank. Investment bank would act as a broker for them. All right, so they will usually take the services of a big broker. Okay, Zerodha and all are very small brokers from institutional perspective. So they will take the services of big brokers such as investment. That's where the investment banks come into the picture. Okay, so we are going to talk more about it, trade life cycle from the investment bank. All right, is it noted down? Can we go ahead?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let me share one Excel file with you. Tell me guys, can you see a Excel file on my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
This, this is what we are going to talk about. This is the trade life cycle, how it happens. Okay. Who knows about Vanguard? Have you heard about Vanguard? Any idea about Vanguard, guys?
No,
No.
sir.
Okay. Okay, I'll tell you. See, Vanguard is a investment management company. Okay. Uh, Basically, how do I explain this? Okay. You know about Motilal Oswal?
Yes, sir.
Heard about it? Okay. So they offer mutual funds, right? They offer mutual funds.
Yes, sir.
You can invest in those mutual funds, right? Similarly, Vanguard is also an investment management company. Okay. They offer mutual funds. Let's be very simple. I mean, I'm talking about in very simple funds. Let's assume that they offer mutual funds. They do offer mutual funds, and it's a US based entity, so US based investors can invest in those funds. Okay, like we can invest in Motilal Oswal fund. Similarly, US investors can invest in Vanguard based funds. Okay, now let's say Vanguard wants to invest in Indian shares. Guys, if you want to note it down, maybe you can note it down so that you don't have any confusion. Vanguard is a US based entity.
Can you share this Excel file?
Yeah, I'll share this Excel. Can I share it on this chat box? Would you get it, guys?
From the mail and the telegram.
I'll share, okay? Just let me, I'll figure out and share it to you. Don't worry. All right, as well. For now, you can just note it down, or you can take a screenshot. Okay. After the class, I'll share it with you. So I'll share it with Damini and she will share it with you. Okay. So what happens is there is a Vanguard. For now, you can take out your notebook, guys, so that you don't miss out on any detail. Let's say there is a Vanguard mutual fund and they want to invest in Reliance shares. Okay. Vanguard is a US based entity and Reliance is a India based entity, right? So they want to invest in shares of Reliance. They want to, let's say, buy 10,000 shares of Reliance. I'm talking about this box, guys. Are you able to relate?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So whom do they go to? They go to investment bank. Yeah. So let's say Vanguard is a US based entity. So they will go to Goldman Sachs in US. Yeah. Goldman Sachs in US will forward the order to Goldman Sachs in Mumbai because they want to buy Indian shares. Right. So Goldman Sachs New York will forward the order to Goldman Sachs Mumbai and say that please help out Vanguard. Yeah. What will Goldman Sachs Mumbai do? It will place the order with the exchange. Guys, are we clear with this much so far?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I know it's new, but if it is not clear, let me know. It's important.
So can you please explain again?
Yeah. See what is happening. We have taken an example where a US based entity, we call that US based entity as foreign institutional investor, FII. There is a foreign institutional investor, foreign mutual fund, which wants to invest in Indian shares. So for Indian perspective, that entity will be a FII. for an institutional investor which wants to buy 10,000 shares of Indian company, Reliance. Okay. Now they will not reach out to small broker, let's say Zerodha or Sher Khan. That does not make sense for them. They don't provide the kind of level of a quality of service which Goldman Sachs can provide, right? So they would reach out to a big broker like an investment bank. Okay, so let's say they reach out to Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs can provide them algorithmic trading, research services, any services they want, right? Which Zerodha cannot provide. So they would reach out to an investment bank. Now, let's say they reach out to Goldman Sachs. You can take any example, JP Morgan, Citi, Deutsche Bank, anybody, okay? We are taking an example of Goldman Sachs. So they reach out to Goldman Sachs and say, please help out us in buying the 10,000 shares of Reliance at this price. Okay, so what will Goldman Sachs New York do? It will forward the order to Goldman Sachs Mumbai. They will say it is out of our coverage, so we are forwarding it to Goldman Sachs Mumbai. They are dealing with Indian markets, right? So the order would go to Goldman Sachs Mumbai. That would act as a broker for Vanguard. Okay, see guys, Vanguard needs to be registered with SEBI also. That's why they can participate in Indian markets. Not anybody can come in and buy the shares of Asian Paints or Reliance or any Indian stock. Okay, they have to be registered with SEBI. So let's assume Vanguard is registered with SEBI. Goldman Sachs Mumbai is registered with SEBI. Okay, so what will Goldman Sachs Mumbai do? They will act as a broker. They can act as a broker as well as a STO. Okay, see guys, what I'm saying is Goldman Sachs can act as a agent, okay, or we call it the broker. Goldman Sachs can also act as a, I mean, either it will act as a broker or it will act as a STO, dealer. Who will tell me what is the difference between a broker and a dealer?
So dealer directly deals with the buyer and seller, whereas the broker acts as a counterparty between the buyer and seller.
Absolutely, absolutely. Very good. Okay. So it's up to the investment bank how they do want to deal with Vanguard. Okay. So they may choose to act as a broker. That means they will not engage in any deal. They will just find the counterparty. Yeah. And they will charge a brokerage. Or they can act as a dealer also, or securities trading organization, STO. Okay, Goldman Sachs can act as a securities trading organization also. That means they will themselves deal with the Vanguard. They will themselves become the seller. They will themselves become the counterparty. Okay. These kind of activities are known as market making activities by investment bank. When they are acting as a seller, they are acting as a dealer, right? So we call them market making activities by investment bank. Okay, so they can act as a broker or a dealer. Is everyone clear with this thing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So let's suppose they are acting as a broker. Okay. Same thing. Whether they trade life cycle would remain the same. Okay. So you can take any example. Let's say they are acting as a broker. So what will they do? What does broker do? broker places the order on the exchange, right? So they will place an order on the exchange, NSE, BSC. Yeah. Similarly, there'll be other FII. Now I am talking about this thing, guys. Now I'm talking about this thing. What is going to happen? Similarly, there will be another FII which wants to sell the shares of Reliance. Maybe they have bought it earlier. So for every buyer, there is a seller, right? So somebody must be selling the shares of Reliance only. Then only somebody can buy, right? So let's assume there is a FII who wants to sell the shares of Reliance. So they also reach out to an investment bank. Let's say they reach out to Citi in Mumbai to help them in selling of the shares, right? So Citi Mumbai will also place the order with NSC. So both the buy orders and sell orders are coming where? To NSC. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Guys, don't by looking at everything. You will get confused, okay? So just focus on this part right now. We are just talking about a buyer placing an order with investment bank and a seller placing an order with the investment bank. Investment bank further placing the order on the exchange. Now, what will exchange do? Can anybody tell me?
Match the orders.
It will
Match
match the
the absolutely, guys. If you are looking at the file carefully, it is written there. Yeah. So what will exchange do? It will match the orders based on various rules. Yeah. So they have rules based on which orders should be placed on priority, right? So they will match the orders based on the price, quantity, time. Okay. So first of all, preference would be given to the price. That means whoever wants to buy the shares at the lowest price, or whoever wants to sell, or whoever wants to buy the shares at the highest price, or whoever wants to sell the shares at the lowest price, their orders would get executed first. Then if the price is same, those orders would be given the priority for which the quantity is more. Thirdly, if the price and quantity both are same, then those orders would be given the priority which came earlier. Okay, first come, first serve basis like that. So based on various rules, the order matching will happen. So let's say their order is matched. They should get the shares in 2 days and they should get the money in 2 days, right? Their order is matched. What will exchange do? It will provide a confirmation to the broker that broker, whatever order you want, you placed with me to buy 10,000 shares of Reliance, that order is executed. Okay. Similarly, will exchange will also send a confirmation to Citi Mumbai broker that the order you placed to sell the shares of Reliance is that order is executed. Okay. And broker would provide a confirmation to the broker would pass on the information to the client that your order is executed. Are we clear with this much, guys? Just look at this and tell me, are you clear with this much?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Everybody clear? This is what happens on the trade date. This is what happens on T. That means, let's say today, this will happen. Are we clear?
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, the execution confirmation by exchanges would happen on the trade date itself.
Yeah. As soon as your order is executed, within a minute, you will get your confirmation that your trade is executed.
Okay, sir.
Okay. You get a trade note or a file from the exchange that how many shares you bought, which shares you bought, at what price your trade is executed. All these details you will get immediately as soon as your trade is executed. Okay. Is it clear as well?
Yes, sir. Clear.
All right. So once that is executed, what would happen? Now, Goldman Sachs Mumbai would, the information could come from here also or here. They would, who is a custodian, guys? Who would tell me who is a custodian?
Who safeguards and protects the assets?
Safeguards the assets of client, right? So, guys, do you know for mutual funds, for hedge funds, they need to have a custodian account? Do we need to have a custodian account, you or me?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, right? We don't even know who is a custodian, right? But these mutual fund who is collecting money from various investors and buying shares on behalf of various investors, where do they need to keep their money and their shares? They cannot keep it with themselves. Okay, it is very risky for all the institution, all the investors, that all their shares, all their cash, everything is kept with the mutual fund company itself. What they want is mutual fund company should make the decisions which share to buy, when to sell. All these things should be handled by the fund manager, but they don't want the mutual fund company or the fund manager to keep all the shares in their custody, keep all the cash in their custody. So to protect the investors' interest, to make sure no fraud is going on within the mutual fund company, what is the requirement? And the requirement is they should have a custodian account. They should hire a custodian and keep all the shares of the investors, keep all the money of the investors in the custodian account. Okay. So Vanguard is a institutional investor. It would be required to have a custodian account. HDFC AMC is a institutional investor. HDFC AMC would be required to have a custodian account. Can anybody tell me quickly, search and tell me who is the custodian for HDFC AMC? Who is the custodian for HDFC AMC?
Sir, it is Citibank and Deutsche and HDFC Bank Limited.
Okay, got it. So every institutional investor will have a custodian. Are we clear with this, guys? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Everybody clear with the custodian, right? So Vanguard would need to have a custodian account or not?
Yes, sir.
That is an institutional investor. So it would need to have a custodian account, right? Now, all the shares, all the money is kept with the custodian, right? They have ordered to buy 10,000 shares of Reliance. So where these 10,000 shares need to be delivered? To the custodian, right? And from where would the cash come to pay for these shares? From the custodian. Okay. So guys, Vanguard will have the account with the custodian. Okay. So let's say BNP Paribas BNP Paribas Mumbai. Let's say they are having a account with BNP Paribas Mumbai, who is acting as a custodian for them. So what will they have? They will have a cash account with the custodian. Okay, we call it, what do we call it? Nostro account. It is also known as Nostro account. And Vanguard would also have a securities account with the custodian. We call it depot account. Okay, so Vanguard will have these two accounts with the custodian, that is BNP Paribas. Cash account will have all the cash coming in and going out. Securities account will have all the securities coming in and going out. See guys, if you know a little bit about demat account, you have a trading account and a demat account. Do you know that?
Yes, sir.
So it is like your trading account. Okay, and this is like your demat account. From the trading account, cash comes in and goes out. And from the demat account, securities come in and go out. Right? So client, that is Vanguard, would be having a cash account as well as a securities account with a custodian in India. Okay, so what would happen? The client would inform the custodian, or the broker would inform the custodian that 10,000 shares of Reliance need to come in and the cash needs to go out. Okay, so they would inform the client custodian that from this account, the money needs to go out, and to this account, shares should come in. If they are keeping the money in USD, the money also needs to be converted into INR. Who would do it? Custodian would do it. Okay, because you need to pay in INR to buy Reliance shares. So if the money is kept in the form of USD, it needs to be converted into INR. Custodian would do it. Are we clear with this so far, guys? Is everyone clear with this box?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So broker would inform custodian of Vanguard that boss, your client has ordered to buy 10,000 shares of Reliance. So in your securities account, 10,000 shares should come in, and from your cash account, money should go out. Similarly, on the sell side, same thing will happen. The broker or the client would inform their custodian that we have sold 10,000 shares of Reliance. So shares should go out and money should come in. Are we clear with this case? Happening on T+1. So here the custodian would make sure that on T+1, he gets, when he gets these information, he is set for delivery of shares. He is set to transfer the shares. And this custodian will make sure that on T+1, the INR is ready to be paid. This passing of information and the custodian getting ready happens on T+1. Are we clear with what happens on T and what happens on T+1, guys? You can see from arrows also. I hope it's clear. Now what will happen on T+2? On T+2, actually the transfer of shares and cash will happen. So first of all, from the seller's custodian, the shares would go to the depository. Now we are talking about T plus 2. Okay, so on T plus 1, he got ready to deliver the shares. On T plus 2, actually, he will deliver the shares to the depository. What does depository do? It will change the legal ownership of the shares. Okay, so who was the legal owner initially? This one. This FII was the legal owner of the shares. So what will depository do? It will remove the name of this entity from those shares. Now they are no longer the owner of these shares. So depository, NSDL or CDSL, would make clearing house the owner of those shares. Okay, so guys, the shares are being transferred from the custodian to the depository, and then the shares are being transferred to the clearing house. Now clearing house is the legal owner of those securities. Are we clear with this flow?
Yes, sir.
So first, second. Okay. Third, what will happen? The cash needs to be paid to the, from the buyer side, the cash will move to the clearing house. Now, if you see carefully, clearing house has both the shares as well as the cash. See guys, cash does not go to depository. Okay, depository does not deal in cash. So cash will straight away go to the clearing house, whereas shares will go from the depository. Depository deals in shares. So the shares legal ownership change of shares would happen at the depository. So shares will go through depository, whereas the cash will directly move from the custodian to the clearing house. Now, if you see carefully, clearing house has the shares from the seller as well as the cash from the buyer. Are we clear till this point, guys, everyone?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 3 S's. What about others, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Everyone.
can you explain it once?
Okay, which part is not
The depository part.
depository part? Okay. See the shares, the legal ownership of shares need to change. Would you agree?
Yes, sir.
If you sell the shares, you should not be the legal owner anymore. Yeah. So who would change the legal ownership of the shares? Depository.
Depository.
It is the role of depository to change the, to convert the shares into electronic form, to change the ownership of the shares. Who does this? Depository does this. In India, we have NSDL and CDSL as the depositories. Okay, our demat account is held with the depository. Okay, so basically what it does, it will change the legal ownership. So earlier the seller was the legal owner. Now who will become the legal owner? Clearing house. Okay, are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's why the shares need to go through the depository, because depository is changing the legal ownership of the shares. So it would remove the name of the seller and add the name of the clearing house. So now if you see carefully, clearing house has both the shares from the seller, yeah, and also has the cash from the buyer. Now what will happen? Clearing house would transfer the shares to the depository. Again, it will transfer. First, it will collect all the shares. Then it will start transferring the shares to the depository and say that change the legal ownership from the clearinghouse to the buyer. Buyer should become the legal owner of those shares, right? So what will depository do? Depository will remove the name of the clearinghouse and add the name of the buyer. Who is the buyer here? Vanguard. So Vanguard would become the legal owner of the shares. And who would do that? Depository would do that. Okay. So after that, the shares would be transferred to the custodian account of the buyer. Yeah. And from here, whatever cash was collected from the buyer side, that would be transferred to the seller. Okay. So all these arrows which you are seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that will keep on happening whole day. So every day, these exchange of shares and cash would happen for the trades which happened 2 days before. Just look at this, guys. All this happens on T+2. Okay. So this is entire trade life cycle. Let me know if anything is not clear. Yeah, guys, tell me, any confusion? Guys, don't worry about the file. I'll share the file with you, okay? So for now, just make sure you are clear on how the flow is happening. If you have any question related to the flow, what is the role of each party, let me know.
Sir, in case of a retail investor, there will be no custodian in between the
Yeah.
trade life cycle.
Yeah.
So they will be directly telling to the depository.
No. So in that case, what will happen? Let's say you have John, right? He wants to buy 10 shares of Reliance. So he will be dealing with the broker. Okay. So broker will pass on the cash to the clearinghouse. There is no custodian. There is a broker who is going to deduct the amount from your saving bank account, block the amount, and then transfer the amount to the clearinghouse. Okay. Clearinghouse would give the shares to your depository account, demat account. So John could see in his demat account, those shares would be coming in. The cash would go from John's saving account to John's broker account, and from John's broker account to clearinghouse. And then it will be passed on to the seller, the cash. And the shares would come in for the John's demat account. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we are not worried too much about this. Okay? This is from our, more relevant from our perspective as a retail, but we are trying to learn how IB is involved, right? So, I mean, for your knowledge sake, you can note it down, but more important is the above one. I'll share this Excel, don't worry, guys. Okay, so just tell me, is everyone clear with this flow? Reswal, Yogita, Zeenat,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Clear.
Yes, sir,
Ashutosh,
clear.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Anushka,
Yes, sir.
all right. Okay. All right, guys. So now we'll have a placement intervention. Okay. The placement team is with us and to discuss about the placement process, which you will go through right after your trainings. So they just want to touch base with you and make sure you are ready for placements. Okay. How the placement process will work. So I'll ask Rajat and Gitika to take over.
Thank you, Anshu sir. Hi everyone. My name is Rajat Arora and I am taking care of business development part for entire North region. My basic role is to bring companies for young champs like you. So before starting this call, I just need to know about your backdrops, about your past education, about you. So we can start one by one. Can anyone start?
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir. My name is Paridhi Gaur, and I have completed my graduation from IP University last year, that is BCom honors, and currently I'm pursuing my master's from distance learning.
Okay. So Paridhi, you have completed your level 1. तो अभी तक आपको क्या challenge लगा है in during your course till level 1?
Sir, challenge तो there is nothing like a challenge क्योंकि सारी explanation अच्छे से होती है, but अपने part से और मतलब work करना है.
Right, exactly. That is what I am
Yes, sir.
going to tell you, because somewhere your domain knowledge is little bit dicey. You
Yes, sir.
are in T3 and you have to achieve at least T1 so that you people are eligible for tier 1 companies like Goldman, like JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley. Why I'm saying this, these companies usually ask your grade book from us. And if you are not falling under the category of T1 or T2, you might not get shortlisted. So it's very much important. You need to put your efforts more on towards your domain knowledge. Communication wise, Paridhi, you are good, but for the domain knowledge, you need to work little hard, especially on your level 1. Because during the interview, there are very less question which company gives on the live situation. 60-70% questions they will going to ask from your basic part, and you need to be very clear and crisp concepts of your level 1. This is the mandatory requirement from the company side. Got it, Paridhi?
Yes, sir. I will work upon it.
Okay. Next one, please.
Good morning, sir. My name is Diksha. I've completed BCom this year from Delhi University. So I'm a BCom fresher.
Okay. Diksha, you are also in T3. What I received the feedback, just give you again similar thing which I told to Paridhi. You also need to work upon your domain part.
Yes, sir.
No? Also do one thing starting from right now. Like first thing is start communicating with your classmates in English, as well as try just prepare your introduction and use mirror to give your self introduction to yourself in front of mirror. You are somewhere little bit nervous when you will going to appear in front of someone. This time Anshul sir take your mock, since he is your trainer, you are familiar with him. But when you go to company, the person is totally unknown from you. He doesn't know you and you doesn't know him or her. So at that time, to remove your nervousness, you need to prepare from day one. See, I'm just giving you a simple example. We all are human. We all learn from textbook, from classes, from our experience. So there is nothing related to the nervousness. Why we will nervous? When we think that we are somewhere does not have enough knowledge to give the answer of the questions. So for this, as I told to Paridhi, similarly I told to you, just go and revise your level 1.
Okay,
Once you are done with, you are confident and you are enough capable to answer the question during the interview, your nervousness will automatically wave off. Okay, Diksha.
okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Next one, please.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
I'm Yogita and I have completed my BCom honors this year from IP University.
Okay. Okay, Yogita. Yogita, just a simple answer. I would like to ask why you opted this CIBOP program. I mean, you might have some vision. That is why you have joined this course.
Yes, sir.
So my question is why you have joined this CIBOP program.
Sir, I have joined the CIBOP program because I am interested in the field of finance and I want to upskill my skills in this area.
Okay. Whenever you will go, someone going to ask a question, just add on that you are looking your career into IB ops.
Okay, sir.
At this point in your answer, that you are looking your career 5 years onwards, you will see yourself in a good position in investment bank in the operation side. Why you have opted this program.
Okay, sir.
Second thing, again, I said to Paridhi and Diksha, revise your level 1. That will again help you in removing your nervousness.
Yes, sir.
Third thing is prepare your introduction. Whenever someone going, HR department going to ask, tell me about yourself. They are saying, Yogita, tell me about yourself. So for such kind of questions, you need prepared introduction and learn that introduction, because things will not going to change. Your graduation will not going to change, your 10th and 12th will not going to change, your past education will not going to change. You just need to add on what you will be learn in future. So prepare that introduction, revise 2 or 3 times, and if required, tell me, I can take your HR interview, so that your nervousness will get removed.
Okay, sir.
Prepare your introduction as well as work on your domain part. Revise level 1 once again. All right.
Okay, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Next one, please.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
My name is Anushka. I have completed my BCom this year from Delhi University and currently I'm pursuing FRM.
Okay. Before proceed with Anushka, I would like to know, guys, those who have completed their BCom, have you received your provisional mark sheet or not?
No, sir, the results are
Yes.
still awaited.
Okay, and when you are expecting your provisional mark sheet?
Sir, in the September end or maybe October first week.
Great, great. Why I'm asking this? Because companies required your provisional mark sheet before. Until you didn't receive your provisional mark sheet, we will not process your profile with the companies because it's a mandatory requirement. So once you received your provisional mark sheet, only after that you will start receiving the opportunities.
Okay, sir.
Okay, Anushka, now comes to you. Similarly, you also need to work on your domain part. Revise
Yes, sir.
one as well as what I told to Yogita. Prepare your introduction and learn it. And whatever you will, learn in this course and whatever in future you will gain the knowledge, just add on in your introduction.
Okay, sir.
You are also need to work upon your confidence part, and that will come only if you are good in your domain knowledge. Got it, Anushka?
Yes, sir.
Okay, next one, please.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
I am Rizal Haq. I am a BCom graduate from Delhi University and a fresher. And also I'm doing a FAB program with Imaticus.
Your name, please.
Rizal Haq.
Is all. Okay. As well, you also need to work up your interview part. Somewhere you are good in the domain knowledge, but you are like there with the fluency in English or nervousness. You also need to work on your communication part as well as try to appear in the mock interviews as possible with you.
Okay, sir.
In case whenever you answer to any question, try to back up with the example. Because see what happened when you will going to appear in the interview with any unknown person. He knows what he will ask. He is asking from you, and he also knows the answer of his question. So in that situation, if you back your answer with the example, this will directly impact your interview in the positive sense. Second thing is body language, on which you need to work out very much. Body sense, your eye contact, since you are appearing in the virtual interview, so eye contact should be very clear. अब जब भी इंटरव्यू देने जाओ, सामने वाले से आई कांटेक्ट बना के अपना इंटरव्यू देना.
Okay, sir.
Razul, am I clear?
Yes, sir. Got it, sir.
Next one, please.
Good morning, sir. I'm Ashutosh Singh Best. I completed my PGPM from ICFI Business School.
PGDM from where?
Sir, IBS Gurgaon, ICFI
Okay,
Business School.
great. Ashutosh, whenever you answer any question, your explanation is little bit dicey. So you
Yes,
also
sir.
need to work upon your domain knowledge, try to clear your level 1 concept so that you can present the answer in a right way. Whatever interview is going to ask, your answer should be as per the expectation of the interviewer. For this, you need to work upon your domain part.
Yes, sir.
Got it?
Yes, sir.
Since we are all appearing for the interview in the virtual platform, so your voice and tone should be accurate. It should not be so fast, not be so slow. Like you are talking with me, I am hearing your voice little down. So you need to be very clear.
Yes, sir.
Right? Okay. Next one, please.
Hello, sir.
Hello,
Hello.
please.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Can you please tell your
Am I audible, sir?
yes?
Hello, my name is Nasreen and I have completed my graduation in BCom Honors from Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar College.
Name
Sir, your voice is not clear.
you are.
Hello.
There is also disturbance from your side.
Uh, I'm sitting in a very quiet place.
Not able to hear you clearly. Next one, please.
Hello, sir. Good morning. My name is Zinat. I did BCom honors from Delhi University. Currently, I'm given my final year exam of MCom, and it is completed in next couple of months.
Okay. Vinod, have you appeared for level 1 mock?
Oh, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
We first need to clear your level 1 mock, then we'll connect, and then I tell you what you need to do.
Okay, sir.
Offline. Next one, please.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
My name is Praveen Yadav. I've done my graduation from Sarda University. Sorry, sir.
Your name?
Praveen Yadav.
Praveen. Okay,
Yes.
Praveen.
I've done my graduation from Sarda University. I've completed in 2019 May, and I've done post graduation from Sarda University itself. I've completed in May 2021.
Okay. First thing, Praveen, your voice is too fast. You need to set your pitch. Otherwise, interviewer will not be able to understand what you are trying to say.
Okay, sir.
Second thing, whenever you appear for any interview or any mock, as I told to you also need to set your body language, your eye contact and everything. Since you are also appearing for interview in the virtual mode, your eye contact should be with the interviewer. Plus, you also need to work upon your communication as well as your domain part. Got my
Yes,
point?
sir. Yes.
But the major thing is you need to set your pitch.
Yes, sir.
Next one, please.
Am I audible now, sir?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. Hello, my name is Nasreen, and I have done my graduation from Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar College.
Okay. Graduation in which stream, Adrin?
BCom honors.
BCom honors. Okay. And which year?
Last year in 2020.
Last year. Adrin, your domain part is very much weak. You need to work hard on your domain part.
Yes,
Need
sir.
to assess your level 1, all the concepts and appear for the mock. It's required. It's the right time when you can work out on your domain knowledge so that within a time you can work out and prepare yourself for the upcoming interview.
Okay, sir.
Right?
Okay, sir.
Next one, please.
Hello, sir. My name is Moksh Neja. I've done my graduation from Delhi University in the stream of BCom honors in 2021. Currently, I'm pursuing the CIBOP program.
Okay. Moksha, you also need to work upon your domain part. Your explanation is very short, so you need to learn some examples of the concepts. You can take help from Anshul sir. You have a great trainer with you. Just ask and simple examples for every topic. So whenever interviewer will going to ask, you have example to back up your answer.
Yes.
Got it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Next one, please.
Hello, sir. My name is Rudraksh, and I have just completed my BBA degree from IP University, and currently I'm pursuing the CIBOP course from Emarticus Learning.
Okay. Rudraksh, you also need to work upon your nervousness.
Yes, sir.
On the both front, if I'm talking about communication or if I'm talking about the domain part, you need to work upon very hard.
Okay, sir.
You are lacking somewhere in the English speaking as well. Similarly, see what happened when we are not able to present ourselves, we will getting nervous somewhere. And if we know the answer and we are lacking with English, we are not able to present our answer in a right way. So it is very much important. You need to work upon on both the sides, communication as well as your domain knowledge.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Next one, please. Is anyone remaining? Parichय. Parichय is there? Parichay, are you there? I think he's not in the class. All right, guys. I know now. I know about your backdrops. I need to just add on some points, starting from the tier 1 companies. You all need to work upon your domain as well as communication part to get at least tier 2 or tier 1 in your final mock. You have time enough to prepare yourself. You have a great trainer with you. You can help taking help from Anshul sir. But at the end, it's completely depend upon you. How you prepare yourself. A trainer can teach you, but it's you who can learn the things. So you need to give more time towards domain knowledge. And if you found somewhere lacking with the communication part, you need to start working from day 1, from today, so that till the time you came to my pool, you will be clearing your final mock with at least T2 or T1 category, so that you will be eligible for each and every company. Have you received the ICR agreement, guys? All of you?
Yes, sir.
Have you read that? How many students read
Yes,
the
sir.
ICR agreement?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm asking, आपने पढ़ा है ICR agreement? किसने पढ़ा है पूरा?
Yes, sir.
ICR में लिखा हुआ है that you need to score T2 or T1 to get eligible for tier 1 companies. Tier 1 companies कौन सी हैं? Tier 1 IB बैंक कौन सी हैं? Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, Citibank, State Street Bank, right? Right, guys?
Yes, sir.
So to get eligible for these companies, you need to start working from today, so that you will be eligible once you come to my placement pool. In case you falls down in tier 3 category, you don't have a choice to choose the IB or company. It is clearly mentioned in the ICR agreement. If you read, you are aware with this fact. So start putting your efforts from day one. Second thing which I found somewhere you are lacking, you need to back your answer with the example. Start revising your level 1 once again and ask an example from your trainer. It's your responsibility to ask the example from your trainer. This will help you in internal mock as well as in the interview part when you will going to face interview with some unknown person. Got my point, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Anything which you would like to know from my side? Placement front, anything, any doubt which you like to know? No question from placement side?
Sir,
Yes, please.
sir, tier 1 and tier 2 companies are in NCR or other part of the region?
Majority of the IBs are based out either in the western part of India or the southern part of India. अगर मैं NCR की बात करूं, we have a limited number of companies like NTT, Citibank, Saxo Bank. We have some companies like Nirvana Solution, Mpexis, right? These are the companies which Sudrania is there. So these are the companies which have their offices in the northern part of India, in the Delhi NCR or nearby area. But tier 1 companies, Goldman Sachs doesn't have their office in northern part. JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley doesn't have their regional offices in northern part of India. So if you are looking for such companies, you need to prepare your mind accordingly that you have to relocate to their location once they start working from offices. Currently, majority of the banks or companies, they are working from home. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Any more question? Any more question, guys? This is the right time. You can ask whatever query you have. You can ask from me. One more point I would like to add: try to maintain your attendance 80% and above. Those who are lacking, I have no idea. But if you are lacking somewhere with the attendance part, try to cover up and try to maintain it at the average of 80%. For those who have not cleared their mock of the level 1, I am just going to clear this thing in your mind in case you will not able to score more than 50% marks in your final mock, then you need to reappear for mock, because minimum 50% is the eligibility after which students came to our pool. Second thing, those who falls down in T3 doesn't have a choice of their company. They need to apply in each and every company, whatever comes. So if you are looking for only tier 1 companies, again, you need to prepare yourself very hard. How many of you gone through the batch launch email which Damni shared with you? Have you read that email?
Yes, sir.
Guys, this is something from my side. Again, if I'm asking, if you have any questions, you can ask me.
So,
Yes, please.
actually, I did not give my mock level 1 because of my exams, and currently I'm free from my exams. Can you please tell me how much time I will take for a level mock?
But for this, you need to consult either Anshul sir or Damini. You know, they are
Okay.
persons from the training department who arrange your. So your mock will be taken by Anshul sir. He will arrange your mock. So they
Okay.
are the right person who can guide you on this front.
Sir, actually, I discussed with Damini ma'am. She told me that whenever you feel that you are ready for mock, then you will give.
If she is saying, then you can appear anytime when you feel you are
But
confident to give the mock.
But as you said that you have to be give mock before, because you will get 50%. So
I am saying for your level 3 final mock.
okay.
Huh?
Okay.
Something I would like to clear very to you. Your grade book is something different and your final mock is something different. Many students get confused in this thing. Your grade book includes so many parameters like your capstone projects, like your exam, like your mock, your class presentation. And once you score all these marks, that will generate your grade book. And on the basis of your grade book, you will going to receive your certificate. This thing clear?
Yes, sir.
No? But to be eligible for the placements, you need to clear your final mock, which will again take by sir or some internal trainer. You need to clear your final mock with minimum 50% marks. Those who score below 50% marks, they need to reassess themselves where they are lacking, prepare themselves with the help of trainer, and then they will again going to reappear for mock. And once they clear their mock with 50% marks, they falls in minimum T3, then they come to the placement school and start receiving the opportunities. Similarly, those who yet not received their provisional degree, they first need to get their provisional degree, and only after that they will start receiving the opportunities. So for this, I believe you have a time till completion of your course. I believe all of you received your provisional degree, so that's not an issue. But yes, to get eligible for tier 1 companies, you need to put more efforts so that you will be fall down either in tier 1 or tier 2.
Sir,
Yes, please.
sir, after the completion of this course, in how much the time we get placed and how many months are taken to be placed?
See, normally within a month, majority of the students got the opportunities. But again, it depends how you perform in the interview. We can arrange your interview, but the fact is you have to clear your interview. So majority of the time, students get the job opportunity within a 1 month. But in case, let's take an example, someone comes too late my pool, someone not able to clear, or someone falls down in T3 category. who is not able to clear the 4 or 5 interview. In that case, there are some other situations. If you got rejected in first 5 initial attempt in the interview process is nothing that in case you are rejected on the basis of resume, that will not be counted. But during the interview, if you rejected in first 5 category, then you again need to go for a remock. Majority of the time in 1 or 2 or 3 interviews, students able to secure a job. But there are some exceptions also. So that depends only when you are completely prepared. If you are not prepared, then you need to wait, or might you have to go for a remock things. But don't think for this at this point of time. This is the time to think how you prepare yourself so that till that time when you appear for final mock, you will score a good marks and you come to my placement pool. Once you prepared, it's very easy to secure a job. So focus on this thing that you have to prepare yourselves.
Okay, sir.
There is one more exception which also I will tell you. Let's take an example. Someone is looking for a job in JP Morgan only, and in final mock he or she scored tier 1. In that case, yes, it depends on company how frequently they share the opportunity. So it might take 15 days, it might take 1 month, it might take more than that also. This is one exception only. Else every month these companies share the opportunities with us, but you have to prepare yourself accordingly so that you can easily crack in first attempt. In case you are rejected from any company, you will not allowed by the company to reappear for interview in the same company for next 6 months. सिंपल एग्जांपल, अगर आप जेपी मॉर्गन में आज रिजेक्ट हो जाते हो तो आप नेक्स्ट 6 मंथ तक उसमें नहीं बैठ सकते. That is why we are focusing more and more on you, that you need to prepare yourself very strongly on the both side. Since IBs, majority of the IBs, I can say 95% IBs are working for outside India. They are working in the rotational shifts. So communication is also play a similar role like a domain knowledge. If you are lacking somewhere in the communication, that will also going to hamper in the future. That is why I am giving you a big focus towards both the things, communication as well as your domain knowledge. And it is only you who can prepare yourself. So put more and more efforts as much as you can and come up in tier 1 or tier 2 so that no one can stop you in appearing from in any company. Got this point, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Any more questions?
Sir, if someone will select in JP Morgan, then company will provide accommodation.
But no, accommodation you need to search from your end. These two things. Firstly, currently they are working from home. So might initial 1 or 2 months you also get a similar thing that you can work from your home. But yes, once they start operating from their offices, you need to relocate to their locations. In that time, you need to find out your accommodation from your side. They can give you time to find out the accommodation, but they will not provide you. You need to search out.
Okay, sir.
One more point, guys, each and every concept is very much important. because when company comes, they are not giving you a consolidated, can say consolidated designation or job description. They comes with the different types of requirement, like they can ask for client onboarding, they can ask for hedge fund, they can ask for OTC. So each and every concept is important. Got my point, guys?
Yes, sir.
Maybe they can ask for derivatives and shares. So each and every concept plays an important role depending upon the job role which will be shared by the company. These are some examples which I have shared with you, which we received as a job opportunity from the company side. OTC, derivatives, hedge fund, client onboarding, AML KYC. Someone can ask for capital market. These are the roles which we received as a part of IB operations from the IBs. So each and every concept should be clear. That is why we have aligned the mock after every level, so that you can judge yourself where you are lacking and you start preparing on those things. Any more questions? Any doubt in your mind related to placements?
Sir, on the basis of final mock will be placed or average of all the mocks like we are giving?
Okay, on the basis of final mock, you came to placement pool. To get secure a job, that is completely depend upon your knowledge, how you perform during the interview. Final mock is a kind of pre-board exam. तो हमारे schools में होते थे ना pre-boards. So that final mock includes your level 1, your level 2, your level 3, plus what you have highlighted in your resume. So it's a mix of each and everything, and interviewer can ask from anywhere. I give you a simple example. हम लोग 12th और 10th में मैथमेटिक्स आरडी शर्मा से पढ़ते थे. आप लोगों ने बहुतों ने पढ़ा होगा. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
बोर्ड अपनी बुक लगाता था, लेकिन क्वेश्चंस जो आते थे वो आरडी शर्मा से आते थे. तो जो आपको क्लास में पढ़ाया जा रहा है, जरूरी नहीं है कि इंटरव्यू में वही चीज आए. सेम थिंग विथ योर फाइनल मॉक. जरूरी नहीं है कि वो उस चीज से पूछें. अगर आपको अंशुल सर ने कोई टॉपिक पढ़ाया है, हो सकता है कि आपको एक लाइव सिचुएशन दे के वो क्वेश्चन पूछ सकते हैं. मैं आपको एग्जांपल लेके चलता हूँ हेज फंड का. हेज फंड आप लोगों को क्लास में कॉन्सेप्ट पढ़ा दिया अंशुल सर ने, पर उसका इम्प्लीमेंटेशन कहाँ कहाँ होता है ये भी आपको समझना जरूरी है. हो सकता है अंशुल सर कैन गिव यू एन केस बेस्ड क्वेश्चन कि इस कंपनी का इस तरीके से ये होता है, और वो करके ना आप समझ गए, एक लाइव क्वेश्चंस वो आपको दे सकते हैं. तो आपको उस चीज के लिए भी प्रिपेयर रहना जरूरी है. लाइक मैं स्क्रीन जो अभी देख रहा हूँ, अंशुल सर कैन एक्सप्लेन यू इन वेरी सॉरी इन अ वेरी गुड वे, ताकि आप लोगों को, उन्होंने देखिए ऐसे कस्टोडियन में लिखा है इन्होंने बीएनपी परिवार. तो अंशुल सर आपको ऑलरेडी उस चीज पे पहले से सिखा रहे हैं लाइव देके. मैं आपको कस्टोडियन बोलूंगा, उसकी जगह आपको मैं उसका एक बंदे का नाम, अगर वो हो सकता है कि वो उस टाइम पे दे दें कि इस कंपनी ने अपने ये शेयर्स निकाले हैं, ये इस तरीके से जाएगा. तो आपको लाइव बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस भी मिल सकते हैं. आपको उसके लिए भी प्रिपेयर रहना पड़ेगा, और वो दोनों तरफ से मिल सकते हैं. आपके फाइनल मॉक में भी आ सकते हैं, एज वेल एज इंटरव्यू कैन आस्क और गिविंग यू एन लाइव क्वेश्चंस ड्यूरिंग द इंटरव्यू. तो उसके लिए आपके कॉन्सेप्ट अगर क्लियर होंगे, यू कैन इजिली जज कि ये क्वेश्चंस किस टॉपिक का है. Got it, guys?
Sir,
Yes.
so there is any training on the resume writing part, sir? We have to.
There is a separate session which will be conducted by the Damini after your level 2 on the resume writing. I think all of you have already received the Ematicus resume format in the batch launch email.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So there will be a session after your level 2 where the trainer will guide you what you have to highlight it in your resume and what not.
Yeah, Rajat will guys will have this session during level 2 itself. Okay, so before your level 2 completes, you will have a couple of sessions on resume writing. Okay, so your resume would be prepared by before the end of level 2 itself. Okay, we'll have the soft skills session trainer, and she will be able to guide you on that part. And we are planning to have those sessions from next week. Okay, so very soon we'll be covering that.
Any more questions, guys? Guys, any more questions? Guys, am I audible to all of you?
Yes, sir, no more questions.
So I hope all of you will fall down into T1 or T2 and from now onwards you start putting more efforts. उम्मीद कर सकता हूँ आप लोगों से?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
चलिए guys, all the best for your future. And as whatever I said, think on it and start preparing yourself from today. If you still have any doubt after this, I'm going to send you the minutes of meeting. My email address is mentioned in the email. You can write me an email anytime if you have any query. अंशुल सर, anything I would like, मैं भूल गया हूँ कुछ ऐड करना है?
I think Rajat, you have covered it well, and guys, I hope you are clear on what are the expectations, right? Basically, he stressed upon that the student should be prepared. So there are two parts to it: domain and soft skills. We have had a discussion regarding this earlier also. You know what is expected, guys. Now, effort needs to come in from your side, and we have a dedicated placement team which will put in all the efforts to make sure you get placed, but similar effort needs to come in from your side as well. Okay, and guys, we are trying to put you in the best companies, and for that you have to be the best candidates. That's what he meant by saying you have to come in T1 and T2. Okay, so if you are one of the best candidates, we can be sure that you would also get placed in one of the best companies. But otherwise, you will not have the choice. You would have to take whatever you get, right? If you are an average candidate. So try to become better than others. Okay. If you have any questions, let Rajat know. Later on, also, if you have any questions related to placements, you can always reach out to Gitika or Rajat. They will be your point of contact. Okay, Rajat, I think that's it from the placement intervention side. I think we can close. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, guys, you can take a break of quick break. Okay, short break, 10 minutes break, and we'll regather and continue our domain discussion. Okay, see you in 10 minutes. Okay, let's continue, guys. Everyone, please come back. Yeah, is everyone back, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, see, guys, one thing I wanted to check with you, we had a discussion regarding this a few days back also, and you asked me for some time to come back to me. Okay. I want to check with you regarding the mode of delivery. Okay. So, are we looking for classroom sessions, or are you able to understand it like here? I mean, which mode would you prefer? We can go with that mode, guys. Guys, let me know.
Sir, offline is much better than online, I think.
Offline is much better.
Sir, offline will be better.
Offline. All right, guys, no problem. We are completely ready. We can start the offline sessions. When do you want to start it from?
From tomorrow?
From tomorrow,
Next
you
week, sir.
next week. What about others?
Sir, from Monday.
From Monday? All,
So Monday.
all right, guys, let's do it then. Okay, so from Monday, that is from the next week, we'll have the classroom sessions. Okay, so I hope you know the address of the center, right? And you know how to reach it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, there is a Rajiv Chowk metro station which is nearest to the center. So you can take a drop at Rajiv Chowk metro station. Okay, and then exit from gate number 2, I think. Okay, that would be closest to the center. All right, if you want to use a personal vehicle, you can use it. I mean, but just check for the parking space in that case. The parking can be costly. Okay, so I mean, you have to figure out which mode of communication would be comfortable for you. All right. Okay, so guys, we'll meet in the classrooms from Monday onwards. Okay. All right.
What will be the timings?
Same timings, Paridhi.
9 to okay.
Yeah, same timings. I mean, uh, we can wait for some time for everybody to come in, but try to reach by 9:15 maximum. Okay. Everybody, please try to reach by 9:15. I know it's early, but it's a matter of month maximum, right? So please somehow accommodate to reach by 9:15. Then we'll start. Okay. Okay, so coming back to our this topic, what happens on trade date? This happens on trade date. Okay, what happens on T+1? The information goes to the custodian. Custodian gets ready to deliver the cash or the securities. Only this thing happens on T+1. What happens on T+2? All this exchange of cash and shares happen on T+2. Okay, that's why it takes 2 days to settle. That is what we call as trade life cycle. Trade goes through various financial intermediaries, and there is a lot of flow of information between the intermediaries. How does that flow of information happens? Swift messages. Okay, this is I mean, you don't write a letter to the other party. that, okay, my client XYZ bought these many shares, so please do this. You don't write emails. Okay. What happens? Automatic messages are triggered, Swift messages. So the message will have, this is the type of Swift message. Okay. Then it will have the ISIN number. Then it will have the currency in which the cash needs to be paid out, number of shares, the price at which is bought. So all these details would be sent through Swift messages. Are we clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. So let me talk to you about the steps also. Okay. See guys, let's talk about the steps in the exchange trade life cycle. This is pretty much the revision of this. Okay. So first of all, what happens is see guys, these are the various steps in the trade life cycle. Now, which steps are handled by front office? These steps are handled by front office. These steps are handled by middle office, and these steps are handled by back office. Do we know what is a front office, middle office, and back office? Guys, can you give me just one line description of what does front office does?
They deal with the client.
Brings the client to the investment.
Yeah, it is the sales or revenue generation side of the investment bank. Their main role is to bring meaningful business to the investment bank. What does middle office do?
It ensures that the front office are performing their activities in the compliance with the system, and they are doing the active. They are not involved in any activities that are bringing any threat to the system.
Absolutely, very good answer. Okay, they do risk management. They make sure the front office guys are not engaging in businesses which are posing too much risk for the investment bank. They also do compliance. They make sure that whatever is happening in is happening in compliance with the rules and regulations. Okay, so that is the main role of middle office. What does back office do? What does back office do, guys? Support activities. You remember? Client onboarding, AML, KYC, account opening, RDM system, settlements, reconciliation, HR activities, IT support. Remember?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, all right. So let's see how the trade life cycle works. Okay. See, front office would take care of these steps. First is the sales, trade initiation, trade execution, and trade capture. Now let's go through these points one by one. Sales, we talked about it, right? Client acquisition, revenue generation. Okay. So sales desk would do this job. Sales desk would connect with companies to advise them on various equity trades, M&A transactions. So they would try to get new clients, right? When a new client is onboarded, what happens? AML, KYC would be done for that. Yeah, its account details will be stored in the RDM. RDM team will open an account for the client, right? So that is sales. Okay. Who likes to do sales? Anybody here who likes to do sales? Who like to sell stuff? No one? Okay. Okay. Neither me, guys. So I always hate sales. Okay. Next is trade initiation. Pay attention from here. Okay. These might be new for you. So pay attention. What does trade initiation means? It refers to the placement of order. Okay. For example, Vanguard placed an order with Goldman Sachs. Yeah. They placed an order with Goldman Sachs. So there'll be a trader sitting in the front office of the investment bank. Do you remember trading desk? We talked about sales desk.
Yes, sir.
On the trading desk, you will have different trading desks. Okay, equity trading desk, fixed income trading desk, derivatives, forex, and all. So Vanguard would call a trader sitting on the trading desk of the equity product and place an order with the trader. So whom will Vanguard reach out to? A trader sitting on the equity trading desk and place an order that I want to buy 10,000 shares of Reliance. That's what we call as trade initiation. Are we clear with this?
So can you please repeat once?
Yeah. This is trade initiation. What is happening here? Vanguard is reaching out to a trader sitting in the equity trading desk of the front office of the Goldman Sachs and saying that I want to buy 10,000 shares of Reliance. It is placing an order with the broker, with the investment bank. That's what we call as trade initiation. This is trade initiation. Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Next, you have trade execution. What happens? Once the order is placed with the investment bank, exchange, a broker will place the order with the exchange, and the exchange will execute the order and confirm to the broker that order is executed. So all this is trade execution. Execution of the order. Are we clear? Is everyone clear with trade execution, guys?
Yes, sir.
Execution.
Yes, sir.
Simple, right? Now it is making sense. We have given different names to these. This is trade initiation. This is trade execution. Okay. What happens in trade capture is whatever trade details are there, front office people will capture those details in the RMS or OMS system. Guys, this is different from RDM. Please note, okay? This is different from RDM. This is the front office system. We call it risk management system or order management system. This is the front office system. So front office person, what will it do? Once the trade is executed on behalf of the client, it would capture the trade details of that in the RMS or OMS system. Okay, it is a system, guys. It is a software. Basically, you can understand it this way. They would have their front office software. Okay, they would capture the details of the trade in that software. What are trade details? Anybody make a guess?
The client ID, client code.
Lot size.
Trade details, yeah. How many shares are bought? at what price they are bought, what was the company name. In case of other contracts, it could be lot size, what is the option premium, these kind of things, right? So that will be the trade details. Are we clear till this point what front office does? Guys, please revise, let me know. See guys, most probably we'll be having four classes for you, okay? 4 days, so that you get 2-3 days for your studies. I hope that's fine, right?
From next week, sir.
Yeah, these will be 4-hour sessions for 4 days in the week. Okay, are we clear with the front office steps taken care by the front office of the trade life cycle?
Sir, can you please tell me the full form of RMS and OMS?
Yeah. Same thing, okay? Somebody calls it, these are generic names given to front office system. Okay, so the front office person would capture the details, would record the details in this system. What details? Trade details. What was the direction of the trade? Was it buy or sell? What is the security name? What is the quantity? What is the price? Okay, so these trade related details would be captured in this system by the front office team. All right, are we clear with all this, guys? When will this happen? This will happen on trade date. All this. Coming to middle office now, what will middle office do? Middle office will first of all do the trade enrichment. Guys, these steps are very important, okay? I mean, I am sure you would not have read it anywhere. So this is how you differentiate yourself from BCom graduates only. Okay? You are differentiating yourself in terms of knowledge through this CIBOP program. So please make sure you are on top of this. If you get this answer right, let's say in the interview, somebody asks you about trade life cycle and you can explain that, that means you are way ahead of other BCom graduates. Way ahead, guys. Nobody would be knowing this. So please pay attention here. If you have any doubt, let me know. But it's very important we conceptually understand it. What happens in trade enrichment is you add economic and non-economic details to the trade. Okay. What do I mean by that is, see, there are economic details related to the trade. What are economic details? Which impact the profit and loss. Okay. For example, at what price did I buy? What was my commission? What was the brokerage that needs to pay? What was the taxes that needs to pay? What is the gross value of trade? What is the net value of trade? All these are economic details which impact the profit and loss of the investment bank or of the client. Whereas non-economic details are account number, beneficiary name, to which account the shares need to go, from which account the cash needs to come in, right? So these address details, these are non-economic details. They don't impact the profit and loss. They are like the address. Where does shares or cash need to come and go to? Yeah, they will help in settlement. We also call them standard settlement instructions. Okay, so non-economic details will have standard settlement instructions. Okay, these are some terminologies. You call it SSI. SSI. Okay, such as custodian cash account number, custodian securities account number, client's name, custodian name. All these would be non-economic details. Are we clear with the difference between economic and non-economic?
So this happens in T+1, the middle office processes.
Trade enrichment would happen on T. Okay, all this would happen on T. Okay, all I would say up to this point would happen on T. Okay, I'll come to that, don't worry. Yeah, are we clear with what are the economic and non-economic details to the trade? Guys, let me know.
So can you again explain the economics?
Economic details, okay. What are economic details? Economic details are at what price the share is bought or sold, what was the quantity, what will be the taxes that need to pay to the government, yeah, what will be the brokerage charged by the broker, what is the net value of trade, what is the gross value of trade. So all these are economic details. Whereas those details which do not impact the profit or loss, which are like helping out in settlement, yeah, those are non-economic details. Where do the cash need to go, from where the shares would come in? These kind of details would be address related details. Yeah, so we call them standard settlement instructions. These are non-economic details. Does that answer your question? Yes or no? Guys, is everyone clear till this point?
Yes, sir.
What about others? Only one yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ashutosh, Moksh, Rudraksh.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Are
sir.
we all clear? Praveen? Praveen.
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
All right, all right. Okay, great. Next step is to do trade validation. Okay, if you remember, we talked about they do various kinds of check, right? The middle office do various kinds of check. So here in this step, they will do three kinds of check. First is the trade check. What do we mean by trade check? We compare or match the trade details in the middle office system with the RMS, OMS, or the front office system. Okay, so middle office person would check here what details of the trade do they have versus what details are captured in the RMS or OMS system by the front office. There should not be any difference in the details which the middle office has and which the front office guys has captured in the system. So they will just double check whether the details are same, all the details are matching or not. That is known as trade check. Okay. Are we clear with what is trade check, guys?
Yes.
Okay. Next, you have the trader check. Who is the trader? Who is the trader? Guys, trader is the person sitting in the front office. Okay. Who sits on the trading desk of the front office, right? I talked about equity trading desk, right? There is a trader sitting there. He has placed the order. He received the order from the client. He got the order executed, right? So who is the trader? It is the person sitting in the front office. What do you check? What do we mean by trader check? Trader check, we see what is the value of the trade they have done. Okay. Every trader, every trading desk has a certain limit on how much amount of transactions they can do in a day. What is the value of the transactions they can do in a day? Okay, there is a limit on that. So to avoid unnecessary risks. Okay, so every trader has a limit. Let's say the trader has a limit of $1 billion of trade. So that trader can move $1 billion of trades across the globe. Now, what do we check here? Whether he has crossed the limit for the day or not. Okay. So you check whether the trader is within the limits or not. Is he executing the trades only on the products he's allowed to trade? Is he executing the trades of only that much value which is within the limits of what he's allowed to trade? That is trader check. Are we clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Easy, right?
Yes, sir.
Next is the client or counterparty check. Who is the client here?
Vanguard.
Vanguard, very good. Okay, so you check whether Vanguard, there should be no negative news about the Vanguard in last 2-3 days. Okay, related to bankruptcy or fraud or tax evasion, there should ideally be no such news. Okay, you also check whether the client is allowed to buy those shares or not. For example, there are certain restrictions in terms of media stocks. You cannot buy too much of media stocks. You cannot control the media. Okay, so you will check whether Vanguard is allowed, whether FIIs are allowed to buy this much stake in a particular company or not, whether they are allowed to buy this product or not. Okay, so these are the kind of counterparty checks you do. Is the counterparty not breaching any limit or not executing any trade which is beyond their limits? Are we clear? So guys, that's what all is done. Okay, I mean everything is checked. What trade details are there? What is trader doing? What is counter client doing? So everything is checked by. That's why we call it risk management. They just make sure that We are not doing anything wrong. Everything is within limits. Everything is legal. Okay, so compliance work, legal work, risk management, all that happens in the middle office. Are we clear with trade validation, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I'll go ahead. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Next is trade verification. What happens? Here you compare the details with the trade sheet. What is trade sheet? You know, when exchange confirms to the broker that the trade has happened, it sends a trade sheet.
So like contract note.
Yeah, contract note, you can say that. Okay, it has the basic details, which shares you bought, what was the quantity, at what price it is bought. So these basic details are captured in the trade sheet. Okay, so what you are doing here is you are comparing the details with the trade sheet. Okay, so you will compare that whatever was captured in the RMS or OMS system, whatever was captured in the RMS OMS system, that is the same as the trade sheet sent by the exchange. Okay, so you cross check these things. The middle office person would compare the trade details which are mentioned in the ORS OMS system with the trade sheet. Idea is, what if the trade details were mistakenly, by mistake, incorrectly punched in the RMS OMS system? Okay, so you match whatever trade sheet is floating around for that trade that has the same details as the details which are captured in the RMS OMS system by the front office person. It acts like a double check. Are we clear?
Sir,
Yeah, tell me.
sir, in case of future option, the trade cycle will be T+2.
In futures and options, it will be dependent upon the settlement date, right? Expiry date.
Okay, sir.
It can be after 1 month also, no?
Yes.
Guys, let me know if there is any doubt in what middle office does.
Can you explain the trade check again in trade validation?
Which one?
Trade check in trade validation.
Trade check. Okay, you check the details of the trade which are captured in the RMS OMS system. Okay, so whatever details you have in the middle office, you check whether these are the same details as what is captured in RMS OMS. Okay, next we have the back office or core operations team. What they will do, they will do the trade confirmation. So what is trade confirmation? It is like you are consolidating all the details. That means economic details as well as non-economic details, and sending all these details to the client. Okay, for the client to confirm, so that there is no discrepancy in understanding between what the investment bank thinks and what the client thinks. So investment bank, what it will do, it will send all these details that, okay, this is the price at which these many shares are bought. This would be the brokerage. This would be the taxes you need to pay. This is the total value of the trade. From this account, the shares would come in into this account. The cash would go out from this account. This is the account holder name and all. So all the details related to the trade would be consolidated and sent to the client, so that client cannot say, I did not knew about this. Okay, so you just confirm everything to the client that, okay, this is what is happening based on the order you placed. Okay, so that client cannot say later on, I did not do this, I was not aware of this. Everything would be transparent because of this step. It's like a receipt sent to the client to get a confirmation from the client. It's like you are documenting the details of the trade between the investment bank and the client. Serves as a record. It will serve as a proof record for the future purposes. Are we clear with this, guys? Resol, please mute. Guys, is everyone clear on trade confirmation?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next will happen trade settlement and reconciliation. So what is trade settlement? Exchange of cash and securities. So whatever arrows you saw moving around of shares and cash on T+2, all that is trade settlement. All that is trade settlement. Okay, so all this will happen on trade date, and this will happen on T+2, and this will happen on T+3. Okay, so trade settlement is what happens on T+2. This exchange of cash and shares is known as settlement. Okay, so all this is trade settlement. Then after the trade is settled on T+2, the next day or on the evening of T+2 or on T+3, reconciliation happens. What is reconciliation? You match the ledger entries with the statement entries. Guys, if you know a little bit about accounting, you know what is a debit entry, credit entry?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So investment bank would be preparing its ledger and statement entries. Custodian would be preparing its statement and ledger entries. Broker would be preparing its statement and ledger. So all these records are cross-checked. That means whatever went out from my account reached your account or not. Whatever went out from your account reached my account or not. Okay, So you cross check all the details, you reconcile all the details. That is what we mean by reconciliation. It is more of a accounting role. We get a lot of job opportunities related to reconciliation also. So that team will reconcile, will just double check whether the settlement which was supposed to happen, as many shares need to go out, whatever cash need to came in, did it actually come in or not? Are the accounts reflecting the correct details or not? So that is reconciliation. That is the last step. Okay, so this is your entire trade life cycle. Go through this again. If you have any questions, let me know. Okay, guys, I'll share this file with you. Okay, you will get this file. But if you have any question, you can ask me. I'm taking your attendance also. Ashutosh.
Present, sir.
Mansi. Moksh.
Present, sir.
Parichay. Parichay. Okay. Yogita.
Present, sir.
Anushka.
Present, sir.
Paridhi.
Present, sir.
Diksha.
Present, sir.
Rudraksh.
Present, sir.
Reswal.
Present, sir.
Nasreen. Nasreen. I can see Nasreen in the list. Okay, your mic is not working, Nasreen. Okay, I am marking you present. Zeenat.
Present, sir.
Praveen.
Present, sir.
All right, I marked absent for Mansi and Parichay. All right, guys, this completes our exchange trade life cycle. If you have any question, you can ask me. All right, so do go through this again. If you have any question, you can ask me tomorrow also, okay? We'll connect tomorrow at 9 a.m. and go ahead, okay? See you tomorrow, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you, sir.